Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight's headlines, we have a sober ceremony at the Palace of the Republic for the 43rd anniversaries of Djibouti. For international scene, donors promised 1.8 billion for Sudan. Welcome to our newsroom. The ceremony to celebrate the 43rd anniversaries of the Republic of Djibouti was held this morning at the presidency. Placed under the aegis of the head of state, the CMGA, before the arrival of the president, carried out a troop review. This colorful ceremony brought together our country's various defense and security forces. This military tribute ceremony replaced by the celebrated military parade of June 27 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It was the first time since independence that the traditional military parade was cancelled and replaced by a simple military ceremony. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, this morning's Independence Day celebration took place at the Palace of the Republic, except that this year, given the context of COVID-19 global pandemic and the health security imperative that prohibits large-scale collective gathering, the military parade was held in a smaller format. However, the President of the Republic reviewed it on the esplanade of the Palace of the Republic, a workforce. President of the Republic reviewed it on the esplanade of the Palace of the Republic, a workforce representative of all the armed and security forces of the country, all members of the government and the office of the President of the Republic took part in the ceremony. Once the review of the troop is over, the President of the Republic left the Palace of the Republic toward the People's Palace. While driving along the road to Venice, For the rest, laying ceremony, a moment of recollection, but also a duty in order to protect peace from the danger that can threaten every day. A duty of remembrance is indispensable, timely. On his arrival, the President was welcomed by the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, made a review of the honorary troop and saluted the flag. All members of government and office of the President of the Republic took part in this ceremony, at the end of which the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, went to the esplanade of the People's Palace, where he laid a wreath of flower on the tomb of the unknown soldiers, a moment charged with symbols and intense emotions.
اللهم اغفر لشهدائنا وشهداء المسلمين، اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم وأكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس. اللهم وأبدل دارا خيرا من دارهم وزوجا خيرا من زوجهم وأهلا خيرا من أهلهم وأدخلهم الجنة وأعذهم من عذاب القبر ومن فتنة النار يا رب العالمين. اللهم لا تحرمنا أجرهم ولا تفتنا بعدهم، واغفر اللهم لنا ولهم ولجميع المسلمين. اللهم آمنا في أوطاننا وأصلح ولي أمرنا وقائدنا الأعلى للقوات المسلحة لما تحبه وترضاه، وهيئ له البطانة الصالحة تعينه على الحق ونصرة الدين يا رب العالمين. الفاتحة.
intaan dibad joogay dal oo dad la maseeyo ku tiirsada waaye allow dagalkayga docdan ku barbaaray ka yeel dugsi raaxo dhammaan dunidoo dhan dalxiisu timaado rabbow dugsi raaxo dhammaan dunidoo dhan dalxiisu timaado.
As usual, in his official speech, the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, stressed that the commemoration of the National Day as a sacred duty incumbent on all our fellow citizens. He said that the day of 27 June is the torch of freedom and the ascent of our country to national sovereignty and independence for all Djiboutians.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله، الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Mes chers compatriotes, nous fêtons cette année l'accès de notre pays.
My fellow citizens, this year we are celebrating our country's access to our national sovereignty in a special context, that of the COVID-19 pandemic, which, for health security reasons, forced us to cancel all large-scale civil and military demonstrations. Nevertheless, my fellow citizens, we are celebrating this day with the emotion and solemnity that befits this day which saw the birth of our republic, the foundation of our sovereignty as a nation united in its plural expression and its centuries-old ancestral Muslim values. As we do every year, our first thoughts go to our dead, our martyrs, our heroes, our anonymous people, all those Djiboutians whose supreme sacrifice has contributed to our sovereignty. Our thoughts are also with those who, as I speak to you today, are watching over its integrity every day, on all our territories, in the air and on the seas. These are, of course, our defense and security forces. Their ultimate sacrifices to build our republic, to safeguard our unity, our equality, our peace can never be called into question by anyone or subjected to revisionism. Finally, my thoughts are with all our fellow citizens who have left us this year, and in particular with our elders who have paid a heavy price in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The head of state paid a vibrant tribute to the martyrs fallen on the Independence Day. Listen once again to the head of state.
Mes chers compatriotes, comme partout dans le monde, cette pandémie a mis à l'épreuve la capacité de résilience de notre pays. Des grands secteurs de notre économie, comme le tourisme, l'hôtellerie.
My fellow countrymen, like everywhere else in the world, this pandemic has tested our country's resilience. Major sectors of our economy such as tourism, hotels, and transportation were severely impacted and continue to be so. Many Djibouti men and women working in the informal sector have lost their livelihoods. Faced with this situation of unprecedented seriousness, this government has done its duty. Above all, it gave priority to the health of our citizens by decreeing a period of confinement that enabled us to slow the spread of the epidemic. It also organized national solidarity to assist those of our citizens who found themselves destitute in the face of the new socio-economic context created by the pandemic. It goes without saying, my fellow citizens, that this unprecedented situation has revealed our social fragility and our degree of exposure to major economic shocks and global health crises. All over the world, the COVID-19 pandemic revealed the flaws and shortcomings of our globalized economy, where states have lost room for maneuver in sectors that are strategic to their independence. Whether at the continental or national level, we have learned a number of lessons from it, which should today enable us to update our public policies. Choosing a more resilient economy, locating value chains to control production on the continent, and accelerating inclusion through social protection are subjects that now require rapid and courageous action. The informal economy is an African economic reality. What makes it strong, its vitality and flexibility, is also weak due to the absence of rules and security devices. The government will have to find innovative mechanisms so that the actors of the sector come out of social precariousness and that all those who operate there find the necessary protection. But I am also thinking of a whole section of our economy that we need to diversify and restructure. This is what we are already doing for our energy sector. The green energy project that we are starting up on the side of Lake Assal and Grand Bara, with wind and solar energy in particular, is part of this political will to make accessible and competitive energy available to our fellow citizens and our economy. I understand your impatience, but you should never doubt the will and energy that drives us to implement the most sustainable solutions.
And to close up his official speech, the head of state wish all a happy fest of Independence Day.
Mes chers compatriotes, les tournées que j'ai pu effectuer dans les régions m'ont permis de me rendre compte du dynamisme des communautés locales. Elles m'ont permis également de mesurer vos attentes en matière d'autonomie locale. À ce propos, j'ai donné pour consigne claire au gouvernement.
My fellow countrymen, the tours I have been able to make in the regions have allowed me to see the dynamism of the local communities. They also allowed me to measure your expectations in terms of local autonomy. In this respect, I have given clear instructions to the government to implement all the grievances expressed in the 5 interior regions. This is already the case for some of them. My fellow citizens, on this day of June 27th and the accession to our sovereignty, we also celebrate the founding act of our state, our nation and our republic, Since that day and forever, it is on this Eritrean route that we are relentlessly building our future and our development. I want the less young among us to remember. I want the younger among us to learn. Our state, whose virtual paganism has been engaged by some commentators from its birth, has gradually given itself the means for its growth. It has drawn its energy from the bowels of its citizens to transform itself, to modernize, and to become a strong state, protective of its territory and its citizens. This territory, this country, this Djiboutian nation, so dearly acquired, must never be given up or called into question, because if it's necessary for generations to question the reforms and public policies that would improve our daily lives, and this is a democratic right, the Republic remains a certainty. It is not to be taken lightly or questioned. The Republic is the home of us all. It is real, and it is all these institutions from which it emanates that protects us from abuses and allow us to progress and live together in harmony. My fellow citizens, I also want the less young among us to remind the younger ones, with dignity and the necessary pedagogy, that on this day of 27 June we have chosen to be a state, but also a nation. We have made this choice together without any spirit of constraint, discrimination, or prejudice. In the wake of national independence, Djiboutians have agreed to transcend their particularism or community membership. We have become Djiboutians. Above all, we have opted properly to live together as communities within a nation that has given rise to and valued a single identity, the Djiboutian identity. Those who want to go against our common history, those who want to go in the opposite direction of our collective trajectory, are not only mistaken about the times, but they are also fighting the wrong battle. In the midst of a volatile regional context, these individuals are taking on the horrific task of undermining the common life of our communities. Their fight is lost in advance because Djiboutians are not ready to listen to the caste riddles and sirens. Djibouti are not ready to dilute the identity of their nation in the merge of some flag. This date reminds us, oh, how much our visceral attachment to the Republic. A republic that has found its way through the jolts of history, but also a republic that has been able to adapt to the constraints and hazards of its history, to have been able to combine political stability, which is essential to our country, with the social and democratic changes, which are essential to our development and our future, is the strength of our republic, and that is its tranquility. Precisely for our future, we need to maintain this alchemy of a republic which, to remain stable, needs vitality. It needs to move, to transform and renew itself, to reinvent itself always in the quest of our ideal. But this project, my dear citizens, to become a reality needs your efforts, your energies, and your participation. After all, do not forget that our republic is only the melting pot of your values, your aspirations, and your commitments. It is the sum of what we are and the reflection of what we make of it. Of course, we do not agree on everything, and of course, the transformations we want to do not all go at the same pace or in the same direction. Nevertheless, whatever our values, our convictions, our personal opinions, one thing must nevertheless remain unshakable in each of us: the Republic, one and indivisible, the Republic, the common good of us all, Djiboutians. We are and will be above all. Long live the Republic, long live Djibouti.
Certes, les transformations que nous souhaitons ne vont pas toutes au même rythme, ni dans la même direction. Néanmoins, quelles que soient nos valeurs, nos convictions, nos opinions personnelles, une chose doit néanmoins rester inébranlable en chacun de nous: la République une et indivisible. La République, notre bien commun à tous. Djiboutiens, nous le sommes et le serons avant tout. Vive la République, vive Djibouti. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, on the occasions of the celebration of our national independence day, received warm congratulations from the King of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the two holy places, His Majesty Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud. In a telegram sent to the head of state, the Saudi King wished health and happiness to President Ismail Omar Guelleh and further progress, development, prosperity to the people of Djibouti. In his message, the custodian of the two holy places also welcomed the relations of friendship and cooperation between the two countries and people and reiterate his determination to work toward strengthening the special ties between our two nations. It should be noted that the Crown Prince of the throne of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz, also sent a similar message to the President of the Republic on the occasion of our Independence Day. The Federal and Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, broadly friendly and neighboring country, has also, through its president, Ms. Sahle Work Zewde, sent a congratulatory message, telegram to the head of state. I am confident, she said, that the exemplary and lasting friendship and fraternal relationship between our two countries and people will be further strengthened for the common good of our two nations, Ms. Sahle Work Zewde said in her message. Also present were the King of the Kingdoms of Bahrain, His Majesty Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the Sultan of Oman, His Majesty Haytham bin Tariq, the King of the Kingdom of Spain, His Majesty Philip VI, the President of the Federal Republic of Germany, His Excellency Frank-Walter Steinmeier, the President of the Swiss Confederation, Ms. Simonetta Sommaruga, the President of the Republic of Serbia, Alexander Vučić, and the President of Ukraine, His Excellency Volodymyr Zelensky, are the latest sent respective message of congratulations to the President of the Republic. In addition to the leaders of brotherly and friendly country, officials at the head of important international continental regional organizations have also expressed their friendship and sympathy to the President of the Republic and the people of Djibouti on the occasions of the celebration of 27 June. The Secretary General of the International Organization of the Francophonie, Ms. Louise Mushikiwabo, is like the Secretary of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Mr. Yusuf Al-Utaymin, and among the leaders of important institutions who conveyed messages of congratulation to President Ismail Omar Guelleh. In her telegram, the Secretary General of the Organizations of International Francophonie stated her readiness to work to deepen relations between Djibouti and organizations of Francophonie. I also welcome the cooperation of the OEF and with Djibouti in the area of governance, she wrote in substances, reiterating her commitment to create the conditions conducive to the establishment of a Francophone center in Djibouti, which will help to firmly anchor the teaching of French in the region. Also, as part of the 27th June festivity, the Minister of Culture and Waqf Property, in partnership with the Ministry of Communication, including RTD and the Town Hall with the Defense and Security Forces, organized a musical evening at Sheikh Osman Camp. Such a rich evening was animated by old school singers and the new generations on songs that have marked the collective consciousness since our independence, with a modern musical sound in atmospheres of national color. Sketch songs and poems were the heart of this evening will have marked the minds of all the population.
wanaaga dabubta oraahda dabeecadda fiican damiirkiyo ruuxda dirsooca ka caagan xaq dhowrka dulqaadka raxmaan ugu deeqay
عاسبد
For the international scene, a donor pledged 1.8 billion to Sudan. Foreign donors countries pledged to 1.8 billion at a conference hosted by Germany to help Sudan ease an economic crisis hampering its transition to democracy after the fall of Omar al-Bashir. The European Union pledged 312 million euro. The United States, $356 million, and Germany, 150 million, France, 100 million, and United Kingdom, 115 pound of million for humanitarian and development program, the bulk of which included cash transfer to poor families. With the help of the World Bank, officials said at the online event, the two Gulf countries had promised Sudan a $3 billion grant in cash and commodities after the military overthrow of Bashir in April 2019, but it is not known how much has reached the countries in total. China and Spain are among the countries offering to help the Sudan with debt relief amounting to about $56 billion. In Glasgow, there has been a serious incident in Glasgow city centre. Police killed the suspect in an attack that left 6 people injured, including a policeman. The latter was reportedly stabbed. The Scottish police said the attack was not considered terrorism, adding that the investigation was ongoing. The circumstances of the attack remain unclear. The victims were all hospitalized. The police officers stated, according to a representative organizations of the profession, it is a critical but stable condition. According to the witnesses, the event took place inside a hotel on West George Street in Glasgow city centre. Initially, the British media BBC Sky News had indicated, before retracting, that the attack had resulted in at least 3 deaths. The association Positive Actions in Housing, which specialized for migrants, said that the attack took place in a hotel used controversially by a social landlord to house refugees. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.